Throughout history, the life of Jesus Christ has been a subject of deep study, debate, and devotion. Many historical sources, both religious and secular, provide different perspectives on his life and teachings. This video explores these accounts, comparing them to understand how they shape our knowledge of Jesus. The most well-known sources about Jesus come from the four Gospels in the New Testament: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These texts, written by Jesus' followers or those close to them, offer a detailed view of his life, teachings, miracles, death, and resurrection. However, they were written decades after Jesus' time on earth, which leads to questions about their historical accuracy. Despite this, they remain the primary sources for understanding Jesus. Matthew presents Jesus as the fulfillment of Old Testament prophecies, emphasizing his role as the Jewish Messiah. Mark, the shortest gospel, focuses on Jesus' actions and miracles, portraying him as a powerful but humble servant of God. Luke, written with a historical approach, provides detailed accounts, often including perspectives from people who encountered Jesus. John differs significantly, focusing on the deeper theological meaning of Jesus' identity as the Son of God. Outside the Bible, there are several historical references to Jesus from Roman and Jewish sources. The Jewish historian Flavius Josephus wrote about Jesus in his work, Antiquities of the Jews, mentioning his crucifixion under Pontius Pilate and his followers who continued to spread his teachings. Some scholars debate whether later Christian scribes altered Josephus' writings, but most agree that Jesus was a real historical figure. Another important Roman source is the historian Tacitus, who wrote about Christians and their persecution under Emperor Nero. He mentioned that Jesus was executed during the reign of Tiberius by Pontius Pilate. This independent Roman confirmation strengthens the historical case for Jesus' existence. The Talmud, a central Jewish text, also references Jesus, though not in a favorable light. It acknowledges his existence but disputes his miracles, attributing them to sorcery. This provides insight into how some Jewish leaders viewed Jesus in the early centuries. Comparing these sources reveals interesting patterns. The Gospels emphasize Jesus' divine nature, his miracles, and his resurrection, while Roman and Jewish sources focus on his execution and the movement he inspired. This raises a key question: how much of the Gospel accounts are historical, and how much are theological interpretations? One way historians analyze this is by looking for the principle of multiple attestation. If multiple independent sources mention an event, it is more likely to be historically true. Jesus' crucifixion is a good example. It is confirmed by the Gospels, Josephus, and Tacitus, making it one of the most certain facts about his life. Another method is the criterion of embarrassment. If a story is unlikely to be invented because it is embarrassing to the movement, it is more likely to be true. Jesus' baptism by John the Baptist is an example. Since John was seen as a prophet, it would seem odd for Jesus, the Messiah, to be baptized by him. Yet, all the Gospels include it, suggesting it genuinely happened. The question of Jesus' miracles is more complex. The Gospels describe him healing the sick, walking on water, and even raising the dead. Non-Christian sources do not confirm these events, but they do not entirely dismiss them either. The Talmud, for instance, claims that Jesus performed miracles but attributes them to magic rather than divine power. Another debated aspect is Jesus' resurrection. The Gospels claim that Jesus rose from the dead and appeared to his followers. Paul's letters, written earlier than the Gospels, also mention Jesus' resurrection as a core belief of early Christians. Roman and Jewish sources do not confirm this, but do acknowledge that Jesus' followers strongly believed it, to the point of facing persecution. Beyond textual sources, archaeology provides additional insights. Sites such as Nazareth, Capernaum, and Jerusalem have been excavated, revealing details about life during Jesus' time. The discovery of first-century synagogues supports the Gospel accounts of Jesus' teaching in such places. The remains of a crucified man from the 1st century show how Romans carried out executions, confirming the brutal reality of crucifixion. One rarely discussed topic is the influence of Jesus outside traditional Christian sources. Some ancient non-Christian religions mention a great teacher or prophet who lived in the Middle East, performing miracles and teaching radical love and humility. While these accounts are not direct confirmations of Jesus, they suggest that his influence spread far beyond the Roman Empire. Another unique perspective comes from Islamic sources. The Quran mentions Jesus, known as Isa, as a prophet of God. It acknowledges his virgin birth and miracles, but denies his crucifixion, stating that he was taken up to heaven instead. This alternative narrative highlights how different cultures and religions interpret the same historical figure. The influence of Jesus' teachings is undeniable. The Sermon on the Mount, where he preached about loving enemies, forgiveness, and humility, has shaped moral and ethical thought for centuries. Even non-Christian philosophers and leaders, such as Gandhi, have admired Jesus' teachings on nonviolence and compassion. A deeper look at Jesus' parables shows their unique teaching style. Unlike other teachers of his time, Jesus used simple stories to convey deep truths. The parable of the Good Samaritan challenges social prejudices, while the parable of the prodigal son illustrates God's mercy. These stories continue to resonate across cultures and generations. Another lesser-known aspect of Jesus' impact is how his followers preserved his teachings in oral traditions before they were written down. Scholars believe that for decades, Jesus' words were memorized and shared in communities before the Gospels were composed. This oral tradition played a key role in shaping early Christian beliefs. Some historical scholars compare Jesus to other religious figures such as Buddha and Socrates. Like Jesus, they taught profound wisdom, gathered disciples, and faced opposition. Yet, Jesus' claim to be the Son of God sets him apart, making him a unique figure in religious history. Jesus' role in political history is another underexplored topic. His message challenged the religious authorities of his time, and his execution was as much a political act as a religious one. The Roman Empire viewed any potential Messiah as a threat, leading to Jesus' crucifixion as a way to suppress rebellion. The spread of Christianity after Jesus' death is another fascinating aspect. Within a few centuries, his followers grew from a small group in Judea to a worldwide movement. The willingness of early Christians to face persecution rather than deny their faith contributed to Christianity's rapid growth. Ultimately, comparing historical accounts of Jesus reveals a rich and complex picture. The Gospels provide a deeply spiritual perspective, Roman and Jewish sources confirm key events, and archaeology adds tangible evidence. Even today, the life of Jesus continues to inspire debate, devotion, and discovery. Understanding these diverse perspectives helps us appreciate the lasting impact of this historical figure, whose teachings continue to shape the world. If you found this video insightful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.